I'm pretty sure I have middle school syndrome. I think a lot of you out there might know what this is, but I'm just going to give you a simple explanation on what it is. It can also be called middle second syndrome. It's a phase where a young person exhibits fantasies, believing that they possess unique powers or are destined for greatness. Well, I asked ChatGPT what they thought this was, and they described this as: this syndrome is a blend of intense imagination and a search for identity, often resulting in exaggerated self importance and dramatic proclamations. Well, that is quite mean, I'd say. But I would basically describe that as living in my own world and thinking about having very strong powers. This was something that followed me throughout my youth, ever since I was inspired by Ben 10 and Naruto. Yeah, because I would always imagine myself having, for example, that Ben 10 watch and different jutsu powers in Naruto. And I would start crafting elaborate backstories for myself. I would do it during lessons, during showers, during exercise, during walks, to be honest, during anything. And that really made me not focus on anything I was doing, because I spent all my time trying to think about backstories for myself. Sometimes I would imagine maybe a criminal broke into our school and I would save everyone using some powers I got, which nobody has, but it was locked inside of me because I couldn't unlock it unless I was under some certain distressful situation. And that also made me watch a lot of anime, as well as read different kind of books, like Alex Rider, if you know what I'm talking about, Percy Jackson, Harry Potter, made me watch One Piece, made me watch Bleach. And sometimes I'll actually be close to tears imagining myself sacrificing myself to save everyone. I was actually imagining my funeral because I saved everyone and everyone would be there crying. But I didn't actually want to die in that story because I had more missions to accomplish. So I would actually come back at a later date, maybe like 3 or 6 months down the line, and surprise everyone when everyone was in danger again. This made my youth so fun because every time I went out, even for grocery shopping, I would put on my earphones and have anime openings playing to help me continue imagining my stories. I think at the time I really liked those Bleach openings. And I know it might sound quite sad, but it gave me confidence. And it made me feel like a superhero. In one of my stories, I imagined myself being a person or whatever, but I was neither a Sith or a Jedi, but I possessed the power of both. And my force would be so strong, it'd kind of be like a Conqueror's Haki type power. So I would knock everyone out without even moving because I'm like so strong, like more than everyone else, so I would easily knock them out without even fighting them because fighting them would be a bother. I would pilot the Strike Freedom Gundam with my R2-D2, and I would be in the same universe as the Harry Potter world. And I actually thought about me infiltrating Hogwarts to steal some sort of book or something that would make me super strong, but Voldemort was trying to steal it as well, and I would kill Voldemort without even moving. like slice him in half by swinging my lightsaber at a speed so quick that no one actually saw it move. And everyone would be so surprised that someone without magic took Voldemort down. Ooh. And they would be scared of me, and they would fight me as well. Like I don't know, Dumbledore and someone like that, or Harry Potter. And they would like start riding on dragons to fight me because they weren't powerful enough. But I would completely destroy them with my strike freedom, because Gundams are obviously more powerful than dragons. So imagine a world with Gundam pilots, Jedi, sorcerers, pirates, aliens, ninjas all together. I would have my own crew, and we would be one of the up-and-coming crew, but we definitely weren't the strongest because otherwise I wouldn't really have the room for imagination. But we would, experience defeat and become stronger. We would just be doing our thing. We wouldn't be part of any kingdom, political group, religion, or anything. We would just be on an adventure, and we would just fight the most powerful people. And this story is like a summary of what I really thought about, but I actually got into quite significant depth imagining this type of story. As I have gotten older, the stories would get more and more realistic, though I'd say it's still quite unrealistic because it's a fictional story, but compared to before, it is much closer to the world that everyone actually lives in. I would imagine myself being really rich, being like Batman, instead of having actual superpowers. Or maybe money and power are actually superpowers. Superpowers to achieve unrealistic outcomes in the real world. People might think it is a good thing to be more realistic, like my parents. But I do sometimes feel sad for starting to lose the joy of completely living in my own world, because it did genuinely help me get over many difficult situations. It made me disconnect from the world. It was my own meditation, in a way. It made me calmer. And this type of unrealistic thinking helped me be more realistic with achieving unrealistic outcomes, if you know what I mean. Yes, it can be an escape from reality sometimes. For example, if I failed a test, it wouldn't really be smart to escape into my own world, but instead I should really face the situation head on by realizing things that I didn't do well and things I did do well, so I can improve the next time. But some people might not have the motivation to do that. And having unrealistic thoughts can help you imagine yourself being a really successful person somewhere down the line, but you have to go through some hardships. And constantly facing failures can make you nihilistic. It can make you have a lot of negative thoughts. Or it could make you want to give up. And you do need a break from it. Some people might have hobbies or something, but for myself, I just escape into my own world. Or else, the failures and negative thoughts may become an endless loop of unhealthy thoughts, which are only gonna make your results worse and worse. You need something to help you enjoy the present. You need a certain amount of middle school syndrome to optimistically enjoy suffering and negative things. Because the journey of a superhero is never smooth. If you are a superhero, if you are the main character of your own story, things aren't gonna be that smooth. A lot of superhero stories I read gained immense power from going through an extremely tough situation. They needed to hike mountains like the Himalayas to reach a shrine, so they could train even more just to be stronger. They could be orphans. Look at Naruto. They could be less talented people. Look at Rock Lee. They could be poor. Look at Denji from Chainsaw Man. So it's actually a good thing for your story if you have bad things happen to you, because you're trying to be a superhero, because you're trying to gain superpowers. This is why I like to think about things in my own world while walking, because it's more peaceful. It helps my thoughts wander when I'm actually wandering. I genuinely don't think people understand how much being unrealistic, having middle school syndrome, living in my own world benefited me. And that includes my parents, because they just think in a very realistic way, which can work for some people. This type of middle school syndrome made me less susceptible to FOMO, because I am the main character of my story, and since I'm the main character of my story, I would obviously be walking my own path, so other people's opinions do not matter, because they are side characters and they like things that everyone else likes. And you're not gonna be a superhero or gain superpowers doing that. To anyone listening that exhibits the symptoms of middle school syndrome, please don't go overboard and constantly use it to escape from reality. Because it is a blessing to have middle school syndrome. Yes, I said it. It's a blessing. If you use it to escape from reality, then you're essentially just playing video games in your room, doing nothing. And you're upgrading a character that is not yourself. If you want to be a superhero, you got to make yourself the main character of your story. You have to use your middle school syndrome to your own advantage. If you want to be Batman, you're gonna need a strong mind, a strong body, and a strong bank account. Use your middle school syndrome to walk your own path, to live your own life, and not to compare with others. I hope everyone succeeds in their journey to become a superhero.